Hey guys, welcome back to Super Switch U. Um, had a somewhat disappointing day today. Went to try to sell some of my books, mostly children's picture books that write and illustrate. Uh, and I didn't sell anything. Nothing. But not what we're here to talk about, just frustrations. I'm going to try to keep this one short. Uh, don't have like a ton of things to talk about, but there's a couple. So let's start with the biggest piece of news that I have for you guys. Pre-orders, they're done. They're taken care of. We knocked them all out yesterday. So June 5th hits, I'm going to have that console and those games and that case, and we're going to be talking about stuff. No more worrying about it. It's taken care of. So did a little bit more trading and a little bit of paying off. But the system's done. Mario Kart World is done. Cyberpunk 2077, Hogwarts Legacy, and that case are all done for launch day. And on top of all of that, we managed to also get Donkey Kong Bonanza paid off. So July 17th, you can come right here and I'll be talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza. Maybe getting to show it off if I figure out that whole uh, broadcasting what I'm doing on the TV to over here or connecting straight to the monitor, whatever. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out something. So I just wanted to get that out. My Switch 2 pre-order journey is basically at an end until launch day. So, uh, and just a reminder, a lot of GameStops are doing that late night uh, release and not a midnight release. So check with your local GameStops if you're picking that up. Make sure that they're releasing uh, at 11 because they might release at 11 the day before and they might release midnight. So just check it. The other thing, and I think I'm late on talking about this too, but Nintendo had put out a little bit more clarification on the Switch 1 games getting free upgrades for Switch 2. And I got my stack here separated from the list of my Switch 1 games, so I can kind of take a look at that when that releases and really see the difference. You got certain things like your, well, hang on, let me pull this up. I want to make sure I tell you guys accurately all of the upgrades and whatnot. So where did that page go? Not that one. Sorry, you're gonna have to give me just a second here. Okay, I think this is the page I'm looking for. Yeah. I got it. Okay, so let's start at the top of the list, which means I've got this whole thing basically upside down. Pull this over so I can read and then, oop, not that, pull this and then pull it over here. Okay, got it. All right, so ARMS, which I still have my copy, is getting visual upgrades to be optimized for Switch 2 display and high resolution, for improved image quality, optimized frame rate for smoother movements, even with 3 or more players, and HDR support. That's what that's getting. Basically, seems kind of like a bare minimum for some of these games, and some things get a few extra things. Um, like Captain Toad. Captain Toad's getting some extra stuff. So you got your visual upgrades, you've got your HDR support. That one doesn't mention frame rates, but I don't think I ever noticed an issue with that. Uh, but we do have game share support for the Captain Toad, and that was where you take the Switch 2, you play it the Switch 1 game, and then you can stream that to the Switch Ones, like other Switch One systems, and you guys can play with just one cartridge. So for this, it'd be two people, two players, two people. I mixed that for some reason there. I could talk, I swear. Two people can play all the courses, sharing locally or online via game chat and a Switch Online membership. Oh, Logan's here. Hey, buddy. make sure he's not on camera, but he is here. Let's see. So next one. Yep, they've got this out of order. So Mario Odyssey. It's getting visual upgrades and HDR support, and also game share support for Mario Odyssey. So two people can play together, one being Mario, obviously, and one being Cappy. And sharing locally via game chat and the Switch Online membership. Next one, I really got this out of order. The throwing Mario's up there. The list I saw the other day, it was like alphabetical. It was nice and clean, but that's whatever. So Mario 3D World is also visual optimized support and optimized frame rates for smoother movement, including Bowser's Fury, and HD support, or HDR support, sorry, for Bowser's Fury only. So the rest of the game won't have the HDR. That is just Bowser's Fury mode is going to get that. And then game share support up to 4 people playing Mario 3D World. Game chat, Switch Online membership. 2 people can play Bowser's Fury together, one being Mario, one being Bowser Jr. Same thing. I mean, a lot of these kind of follow that same thing. I just wanted to go through everything that I have, and then I will also list off the ones that I either no longer have or just did not get. Clubhouse games. This is kind of an odd choice too, because it doesn't seem like it was much of anything, and I didn't think a lot of people bought or played it. But it's getting game share support. Up to 4 people can play 34 of the 51 games, and then game chat and switch on via game chat and online membership. Now that I'm sitting here looking at this, I wonder if that means that it's like you have to have the online membership and game chat, because I don't I don't know. I don't currently have a paid membership, so I might have to figure that out. You know, desperate times called for cutting things I didn't really need. Link's Awakening, getting visual support, or visual upgrades and HDR support. Echoes of Wisdom, same thing, visual upgrades, HDR support. New Super Mario Bros. U. I know what you're probably thinking on that one. But no, it did not get game share for some reason. It is just visual upgrades. Not even HDR support. It's just the visual optimized support for Switch 2, yada yada yada. Scarlet and Violet. They are also getting visual upgrades and improved frame rate for smoother movement, but no HDR support. And then of what I don't have, make sure I didn't miss anything. I did not. Game Builder Garage is getting visual upgrades and supports Joy-Con 2 mouse controls. I think that might be the only one that's getting mouse controls. It makes sense though. I mean, you're building games with that, so a mouse might actually help. Which then also brings up the question, why did Mario Maker 2 not get a free upgrade and mouse support? I don't know. And lastly, Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. Game share support. Up to 4 people can play in party mode, sharing locally or online via game chat and a Switch Online membership. So that is the support. At some point, I'm going to check all of the games I just went over. I don't think I've spread that out very well, but I'll go through them. We'll talk about it, but maybe not day one, because there's so many other things to talk about and do and new experiences that the slight upgrades for these may not be worth it. However, because me and my wife both got a copy of this and we've got both versions, I might be able to side by side comparison the Pokemons. Have one running on her Switch 1 and one of them running on Switch 2, and then let you guys actually see the difference with that. And I think that might have been most of what I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to not talk about game key cards as much, even though in the deepest parts of my soul it hurts. It hurts to know that these things exist and that companies are taking that cheap route to use those instead of just getting cartridges and putting your game on it. And you know, like, it would be really nice to have Street Fighter 6, but I can't justify supporting it. I can't. Yakuza was looking pretty good until that game keycard nonsense. But I digress. Like, I'm not gonna make myself more frustrated today than I need to make myself. So yeah, that's pretty much all I think we're gonna talk about today. Just like I said, keep it short. But to not go another 12 days without releasing a video would be super. Um, but also the poll is still up because as of today, May 17th, we still have 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, I will shut the poll off and we won't be voting on that no more. But it's the what additional thing should I get to showcase to you guys and talk about? Like, what would you like to see and discuss? The upgrade packs for either Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom? Or are you as curious as I am about that Switch 2 Welcome Tour game and why they think it's worth $10 instead of free packaged in with the system? Um, but I've got a poll up on the channel. I can post or whatever. I'm not quite sure how to actually get to it from the outside. But that's up. Or feel free to vote for it in the comments section of literally any video. I'm going to know what you're talking about if you vote for one of those three things. If you just say the name of it, I'm counting that as a vote. Um, and we'll see what happens with that. So 2 weeks for that, and we are now 19. We are 19 days away from the release of Switch 2. So the countdown has begun. We're almost there, guys. Just stick with me, and we'll talk about it. We will discuss the good sides, the bad sides, and anything in between. So, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you guys next time.